Hi guys, welcome back to S Chamberlain 5150's YouTube channel. We're only like 3 hours late right now. We're heading up to Shreveport, Sam's Town Casino and everything. I always say and everything. Why do I always say and everything? I don't know. It's just kind of like that little safe word that we always do. But we're meeting up all the boys and we're doing the polar ride. And it's like 50 right now. It's not even cold. It's gonna be 70 on the polar ride. So when the polar ride came out, it was way, like, who knows? Could have been cold, could have been warm. Well, we're lucking out. It's warm, a little overcast. We'll see how it goes. So stay tuned. Check out the polar ride. Up. I guess we're gonna see how this audio is. Kind of played around with the mic a little bit, changed some things up, blocked off little ports. So we'll see if it pulls up a little bit better of an audio. You know, I got Mark sitting next to me, so heading up to the polar ride, baby. I'm excited. We got a ton of cool people coming from a couple different states, Arkansas and Texas and Bucky's, baby. I don't know if you've ever been to a Bucky's or seen a Bucky's, or they are huge. This is a gas station. There's like 100 pumps. This is the definition of everything's bigger in Texas is a Bucky's. So Mark's got a charging system issue that just came up. We're gonna head to the Harley dealer. He thinks possible battery. He's had a 4-year-old like lithium-ion battery on it. You know, he just said it's not charging. So I guess we'll see what's up. Yeah, they said they don't have a regulator, voltage regulator. That's it, but they do have a stator. So we're just gonna try to blast there, and hopefully the bike makes it. If not, I'm gonna be pushing them down the highway. Not happy?
No, my battery is angry at me, Steve.
Oh, man.
Or something.
Yeah.
What we got for tools? So we can make it.
I got a bunch of tools too. I don't have a voltage tester though. Dead in the water. Charging system took a poopy. We tried putting a new battery in it because it had a couple-year-old lithium-ion battery out of a different bike. Put a brand new battery in it. It's not charging, so might be a wrap for this trip. Who knows? Something happened. So figured out the stator was grounded out, and then Xavier came picked us up. Picked up Mark, and then they didn't have a stator at the Horny Toad Harley, so they had one at Round Rock Harley, Central Texas Harley. So hopefully it's just the stator. maybe we can continue this trip on a bit. So I guess we'll see. Heading back to the shop now. I don't know, what is it? It's almost 3 o'clock, and this is a 5-hour way trip, so I guess we'll see what happens. Afraid with the stator going out that it did the same thing that happened to my bike when I was rebuilding it. So like we tore apart when we were tearing apart the motor and checking the run out when we was doing the whole rebuild on this. If you guys have ever watched like my whole build series I had on this bike when it went from yeah, so we went to go spin the motor over to check the run out, and then we're like, oh, we'll quick pull the primary off to spin the motor over, because I didn't have wheels on it at the time, so just click it in high gear and spin it over. And then we pulled it apart, and the Recluse clutch I had in it lost all the little slider things on the outside, and they went through the primary. So hopefully that's not the problem, but we did get a stator from the Harley dealer, so if we can get it fixed, we'll see from there. But hopefully the damage isn't too much. Fun stuff, all part of the road trip. So we made it back to the shop, Cedar Park. Gonna tear into the primary. Mark's getting it up on the lift right now, so gonna see if we can salvage this weekend, or just call yourself defeated. So we got the bike up on the lift, pulled apart. Looks like everything physically wise is decent in here. I'm doing some testing of the wires, so yeah, get the stator changed out. Hopefully that's the issue.
Hey guys, Mark here. Totally stole Steve's camera, so I want to go over a couple things. You know, when someone tells you, when you take your bike to a shop and they're diagnosing it, you have to really trust that shop. And if you're not getting good feelings of trust, maybe take it to another location. This is there we go. We lost y'all there. Alright, so this is the stator that this dealership told us was bad. Said it was grounded out. So when someone's grounded, hey there guys. Welcome back to S Chamberlain 5150's YouTube channel.
See if it works now.
I think it's working. I see a red light and it didn't say power off.
Oh yeah, Mark's he was trying to record while I'm eating some kolaches. I don't know if you ever had a kolache. It's kind of a Texas thing. Amazing. So I was smashing down a kolache. We're back at the shop, diagnosing what's going on.
Missing some parts here. So we tried to make it to the Polar ride yesterday. Unfortunately, we did not make it. The bike, we made it to Bucky's, it's about 70 miles out, and I started noticing on my power vision that's mounted on the handlebars that my battery voltage kept dropping. And it was not getting any higher. It started at like 12.6, then it goes 12.5, then 12.3. We can make it to Bucky's. I tell Steve, hey man, I don't think my charging system's working. It's a Harley dealership 20 miles up the road. We're gonna try and make it there. Made it half a mile down the road, the bike shut off. Did not make it that far. So we're on the side of the road trying to figure out what's going on. And I go, well, the battery is super old in this bike. It was a battery that was in my pink FXR. Since that bike is down, I put it in this bike. It was the same size, same style. It's just a lithium ion battery. And so I was like, well, maybe 4 years is a lot for a battery and it's a lithium. Maybe it just, you know, the battery took a shit. So I jumped on Steve's bike and went to the closest Harley dealership, which was about 10 miles the opposite direction. So back the way we came. Went and bought a battery. We got the battery put in, bike's still not charging. So at that time I called Xavier from Providence Cycle Works. He said he was gonna drive up in the van and come grab us. And we were kind of sitting there, I was like, well, maybe let's just check a couple other things out. And when I disconnected the stator from the regulator, I had noticed that the pins didn't look kind of how I thought they should. And we'll show you what's going on. You know, but basically we did a roadside repair, got the bike charging again, rode it to the dealership, and they kind of told us, they said, oh yeah, your stator's bad and grounded. So when you take your bike to a shop, you got to trust those people. And if you get the feeling of not trusting the people, maybe take it to get a second opinion, because this is the stator that was in my bike. They told me that it was grounded out. Grounded out means, let me turn this light on. Grounded out means that you're going to have
A straight short.
you're going to have resistance.
Yeah.
OL means that they're not connected. So when it's grounded out, that means some of your leads are grounded to the case and it's shorting out inside. So when you touch the leads together, it should read a number. That means it's grounded out. So what we're going to do is take each individual prong in here, and then we're going to touch right here. Not grounded out. Okay, we're going to grab the next lead, because there's 3 leads. You got to do it on every lead. Not grounded out. Take it to the next lead. Not grounded out. So they 100% misdiagnosed this charging system issue. Now, lucky for them, their misdiagnosis would have still solved the problem, which is exactly what I found on the side of the road that I told them about. So these pins, they're typically in a little boot like this, and they go inside your voltage regulator. And when I was on the side of the road, I looked and I was like, man, it seems like a really big gap right here, you know, a really big gap.
Focus. There you go.
So I kind of pinched them together with some pliers, and that's when the bike started somewhat charging again.
Yeah, because when you took back off, it went from, it was like idling at 14, but then you're going down the road and it was like 13.
Yeah, it would drop to like 13, 13.3. Sometimes it would bounce up, sometimes it would bounce down.
So
And
that's why we went and stopped at the Harley dealer and just like, hey, can you just do this basic diagnostics on this charging system, because we don't have a voltmeter with us.
And if it had come back good, our plan was to jump right back on the road essentially and try and make it. But unfortunately, they told us it was grounded out. Wrong diagnosis. The part would have fixed it, because if you look at the new one, there is
See if it'll focus.
not.
They're way tight together.
Yeah,
so.
that gap is insanely smaller than that. So I think what had happened is that these had just kind of rattled loose, and they were loose on the pins, and that was what was causing my charging system issues. So we're gonna get it fixed. We're gonna try and go for a little rip around the hill country today, and then maybe have some fun. You know, salvage the weekend. The other thing I wanted to go over with y'all real quick is give a shout out to Recluse, because we've had some issues with some of their torque drive clutches on bikes before, and these are the old sleeves that came in there, and these had a tendency, they would sit in the basket, and under high RPM, if you pulled the clutch in, this backside would launch up over the steels and slide. For people that don't know, this is basically, it's a steel sleeve that goes right here in this clutch. You can see we've already got the new ones added into this one, but it goes in between the aluminum and the actual friction material, so that way they can run the friction material on a piece of steel instead of aluminum. So it allows them to run more friction, more surface area, hold better torque. These had a tendency on some bikes, and touring models mostly, because of how long the clutch actuation is, it would get such great separation that it would flip up past. They're relying on the backside on this sprocket to hold it in, and it would flip up past that, jump over the steels, and then start damaging everything in the primary.
You can, yeah, that happened to me, you know, way back when I was doing my whole rebuild video. You know, it happened, but we reached out to them and they got the issue solved with these new new steels.
They're sending Steve a new clutch. They felt bad, you know, but the new ones now, it's a super simple solve, but they just have an extra little tab right here, so that way it prevents
that lift
on
and
the
that
axle.
jumping up and going over the.
So, you know, I was very impressed talking to them on the phone, because a lot of times when you call people and you talk about an issue, number one thing they say is it was installed incorrectly, or, you know, you don't know what you're doing or whatever. Recluse was very, let's look into this. Like, let's take a look and see what's going on. You know what I mean? And they admitted that they found a problem and they solved it, and they're standing behind their product. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to them, because it's not always that way. Being a small shop with like a little name in the industry, people don't really listen to me. And they took the time, listened, confirmed that my concerns were legitimate, and then solved it. And then have taken care of every single one that we've had go bad. So big shout out to Recluse for that.
So right on, we're gonna get this bike slapped together today. Hopefully salvage the weekend and have some fun. So, all right.
And then Justin from, I think he's from San Antonio.
we got Mark's bike all back together. That really didn't want to start too good. Hopefully I don't have an issue now. We're gonna head up to Lime Creek Road, maybe meet up with Connor FXDB again. So heck yeah. Got the old 360 camera mounted up, got the helmet mounted cam. I think my mic's still messed up, so I can only talk like when we're not moving too fast. Nah, dude, totally came around a corner and the whole back end went whoop!
Just smack the lip, whoop, drop down, snap, and then after that, you just drop in, just ride the barrel and get pitted.
And the whole thing, I almost high-sided. Oh, I can't wait to watch the footage. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.